U.S. and China at it again, fighting with each other. What I love about this video is that we have video cam footage from both dashboards of both planes. Isn't that amazing? It's like cops. Even though that the show was taken off TV, we still got it, folks. We still have it. So CNN reporting here. Video shows both sides of U.S.-China aerial encounter and highlight the risks involved. Well, thanks, Brad. Thank you for outlining that for us. And, you know, they do the whatever job. But more importantly, Brandon here, we are talking about how do we fix these things? How do we fix these issues? And what is truly going on in the world? And, you know, both sides are going to say whatever, you know, the interception. So, you know, China says, oh, it's an interception of the United States Air Force reconnaissance jet right here. You know, Russia or America says the same thing. Like, hey, we are in international waters and these people are buzzing us. It's the same old stuff, you know, same old song and dance. This happens with the United States and Russia. I lived in Alaska for a while. This stuff would happen. I had a bunch of friends in the Air Force, and they would talk about all the time. I'd get videos and pictures sent to me of Russian fighter jets or Russian bombers, actually, a lot of times getting buzzed by F-22s, or, you know, not buzzed, but just, you know, doing this and just kind of saying, hey, I see you, you now scram. So this stuff happens all the time, and, you know, a lot of this, again, the whole point of what we do here, what this channel is to find signal in the noise and question why, question everything. You know, really everything at the end of the day is a psyop, right? Media, there is no journalism anymore. Media has just turned into a big megaphone, a big narrative to say, hey, you know, this is what we're going to tell you. This is what we're going to tell you to look at, and this is what you're going to do, and this is how long you're going to look at it. That's it. That's all it is. And you know, we've shown before the not memes, but it's the infographic of all of the media companies owned by just a handful of people, and we're in the Coliseum. Fighting out is bread and circus. The people are sitting there all around, you know, getting their free bread and wine and getting drunk and hammered, playing their esports in the Coliseum 2,000 years ago on their phone, playing their fantasy sports, betting on who's going to win the fight below the gladiators. And those that choose to fight it out are the gladiators below, killing themselves. And you got the emperor up on high doing this and that, which I guess you could say is, you know, the president calling balls and strikes, SEC, you know, part of the deep state just saying, hey, you know, oh no, that was, you know, taxed, not taxed, and you're going to do whatever. And then you've got the people in the background outside of the Coliseum where the real game is being played, and that is the Bank of International Settlements. It's the IMF. It's the central banks. It's really the whole banking establishment. You know, it's the Rothschilds. The email that George Gammon actually shared the other day, someone sent him from, I forget what group it was now, but, you know, it was Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, George Soros, all these guys getting together saying, hey, we don't want to look like a global cabal, so we got to kind of like do certain things, but we're going to have a bunch of meetings that literally no one can be in, not even our assistants or media, nothing, you know, things like that, how they need to, you know, control population, climate change, and create that narrative that's what it's going to be. But we know all this. We've talked about this. The Club of Rome is 50 years ago. This goes back to Karl Marx, obviously 150 years ago. Like this stuff, it's just... What's frustrating, I think, to me is, you know, studying this for 20 plus years, seeing it firsthand, you know, reading hundreds and hundreds of books and thousands of articles and thousands of hours of media consumed. It doesn't take that much, you know. It doesn't. That's what's frustrating. I look back and say, well, you know what? Maybe it's just because I've done, you know, 5,000 or 10,000 hours of work in this area and in running businesses and investing. So like I just have a different perspective than most people, and maybe that's true. I'm sure that's part of it, right? I played hockey for 20 years before that, and I'm sure I can skate better and shoot better than 99% of individuals on the earth, right? And yes, my experience doing that for 20 years helped, obviously. However, there are so many things, the beauty of, unlike hockey, where you have to learn to skate, and that's kind of a prerequisite, and you have to learn to do that, or hold a stick and skate at the same time, or puck handle at the same time, and shoot, you know, all that. Those are prerequisites for hockey. So if you don't have those basics down, yeah, you're going to have a tough time. With this, though, you know, everyone is given a brain. You know, we all have a brain. And this is the Chinese, the video from the Chinese perspective. So you can watch this frame. But everyone has a brain and can figure out and ask questions. And this doesn't take that much work. This is common sense. You know, our intuition, as Bob Proctor says, are 6 mental higher faculties that very few people use, unfortunately. And we just take the media narrative and just, you know, this is what you're going to look at, and that's how long you're going to look at it. That's it. You know, that's all people do, is they just take what they've been fed and don't ask questions. And I get we're all busy. I get we're doing this and that. However, this doesn't take many people either. 5, 10, 20% of the population, and the whole world has changed. Just getting involved, just studying a little bit, studying an hour or two a week, couple hours, whatever it is, and just understanding, asking questions. Because the more we ask questions, this is the crazy part. The only easy day was yesterday. As the SEALs, the United States Navy SEALs say, right? The only easy day was yesterday. The more people don't stand up now, the harder it gets tomorrow. And the less people stand up, the harder it gets the next day. This is the easiest day it'll ever be. And if more people stand up and just question, I'm not saying go do anything crazy, just question the narrative, question everything. Get on Twitter, go to your town hall meetings, go to your PTA meetings, go to your city township board, go to your city meetings, go get on the board, go run for an office, just go be a part of the meeting, ask some questions. You know, you could be anything. It can be literally anything. You get involved. 1%, 5%, 10% of people around the country, around the world, I guarantee you, a year from now, life is completely different. Government is then worried about its citizens and its constituents instead of the constituents worried about their government. The government is not set up to be that way, especially here in America. It's here to work at the consent of the governed. Government should FEAR their people. Government should FEAR their people. There's no doubt about that. The founders are very clear about that. So don't let these things fool you. Don't let these things frighten you. Here's the American perspective. Don't let these things get you into a tizzy. You know, a lot of this is just saber rattling. All this stuff is saber rattling. And to be quite honest, again, these are all politicians playing games. Politicians are constantly playing these games to stoke fear because that's how they get power. That's how they change rules, change laws, and give themselves more power. Remember that. That's how this always works. And at the end of the day, Bitcoin is the answer to this, right? Fix the money, fix the world. Separation of money and state. That's it. That's the most powerful thing I could ever give you, is educate yourself, number one, ask questions, ask with everything and everything with boldness, and fix the money. Fix the money and fix the world, separation of money and state, the four things. So that's it. If we take the power out of the hands of the unproductive class, put it back in the hands of the people, guess what? Life starts healing. The division, the polarization, all starts healing. That all starts coming together. Because newsflash, 90% of us believe the same thing. We want freedom. If you haven't noticed, here in America, there's one side that says, don't touch my body, and then the other side says, don't touch my body, albeit about different things. However, we've got a common principle there. Don't touch my body. So what are we doing here at the end of the day? What are we doing? And I have a quick anecdotal story. Here in Michigan, the 2020 presidential election, Joe Biden, Donald Trump, there was a ballot proposal that year that's, you know, on the back of the ballot. A lot of people miss it usually. However, I checked, the same number of people voted for both the proposal and the president in this vote count. So it's not a scientific experiment. However, it's pretty close. But it was a simple freedom proposal that, when worded clearly, I know the average person would have voted the same way, just like they did here in Michigan. So the presidential vote was 50-50, and the proposal was 90-10. Here's what the proposal was. The proposal was, do you believe, and I'm kind of paraphrasing, but do you believe the government should have a warrant to come search my property or your digital online property? That's it. It was digital online. So digital online property. Should the government have a warrant to come search that? And 90-10, it was yes. Yes, we believe the government should have a warrant to search my online presence. Wow. What do you know? The same amount of people that voted for the presidential election voted for the proposal, and 90-10 overwhelmingly in the favor of freedom and individual rights. But yet, we got people in the presidential election voting 50-50 split. Why is that? Right? And that's a whole different topic for a different day, but why is that? Why was the presidential election split? So if anything, right, that proved my thesis for the last 12, 15 years of my life, which was, I truly believe we all think the same thing and want the same thing. We just believe a little different nuance here, and it's propagated by academia and the media. The megaphone saying, this is what you're going to believe, and this is why you're going to believe it, and this is how long you're going to believe it. And then we change the next current thing, then you're going to believe that. That's it. So if you can remove yourself, I guarantee you, if every person deleted every social media app and cable subscription and everything and removed themselves, unplugged themselves from the matrix, you would have 90% of the country voting for freedom, liberty, prosperity, individual rights, and you would see all this collectivism. You'd see all these shenanigans, all the ESG, all the craziness go away. you see it all go away because people will be like, no, I'm just living my life. Leave me alone. I don't need you. I'm prepared. And at the end of the day, like we said, fix the money, fix the world. Bitcoin, get some Bitcoin, right? Get off zero. Don't put all of your into it. It's not financial advice, it's freedom advice. Get some Bitcoin for your freedom, for your sanity. So you can't be censored. So it's outside the system. Remember, there's banking holidays. 9/11, they shut the banks down, shut everything down. That is just like every other fiat legacy banking system, the altcoins, scam coins, they're all crypto. It's all the same. It's all the same system. It's centralized. It'll be shut down. If it can be, it will be. Bitcoin is not that. Bitcoin is different than all that. You know, get a little gold, get a little silver, get some food storage, get some guns and ammo, get some water, get some energy sources, build your community up around you. What can we do to prepare to be independent and resilient and not need government in our life? Again, we get involved, 1, 5, 10% of people get involved, and we get prepared, nothing can stop you. All of the gut rot inside of the unproductive class, Bank of International Settlements, IMF, the central banks, government, everything, all that gut rot starts to melt away because their power is taken away from them. When the people don't need them, they don't need dependence on those people and shelling out other people's money to them, other people's time and wealth to them through money, all that goes away. It all just starts naturally going away. You don't even need to fight about it anymore. It just goes away. That's the beauty of all this. And that's when I realized, when I got into this, the Bitcoin, gold, and all this sound money in the last 10, 12 years, I realized, oh my gosh, we can fight all day long, red versus blue, China versus America, you know, Russia versus America, whatever it is, but it's the state versus you. It's collectivism versus individualism. And this is all just theater. All just theater. So I appreciate you guys. Please like and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't already, please share it with someone you think might get something out of this. Please let me know what else you'd like to see, what you'd like us to talk about. And I appreciate your time and energy. It's the most important asset we have. It's the only finite asset we have, Bitcoin and time. Those are the only finite assets I know of. So that's the only fair trade. Unless you can think of something else, please put it in the comments. We look forward to seeing you on the next one.